Friends, the question is whether a sannyasi can wear different color dresses, whether sannyasi can do such and such a thing, and why should he not do this, or what are the rules of sannyasa. See, broadly speaking, there are rules. I remember Adi Shankaracharya movie of G.V. Iyer. I think in 1981 or 82 it was released. Mr. Banerjee was the hero. It was very well made movie, and in that there is this episode where Adi Shankaracharya comes back to perform funeral rites to his mother, as he promised to his mother before taking sannyas. So the Brahmin community, who are responsible for rituals, etc., they say, you are a sannyasi, you are not eligible to do Agni Karya, any fire ritual. And the Adi Shankaracharya says, Maya moh se dur rehne walon ko kya niyam hai, kya vidhi hai. So he says basically, what are rules and regulations for those people who are away from Maya and Moha? Maya is delusion and Moha is infatuation. Now, when he says that, the Samaj, the community of those Brahmins there, say, then we are banishing you, we are banning you, because you are not adhering to the rules and regulations. We will excommunicate you. That is what they say. Shankaracharya just laughs it off. Sannyasi, Vivekananda, for example, he says that sannyasi is a person. Number one, he is a Brahmin of Brahmins. That is one way. Then number two is sannyasi stands on the head of the Vedas. That is what Vivekananda says. And in Vivekananda's life, for example, he used to wear all kinds of clothes. At that point of time, wearing clothes that are stitched, it itself is against the rules of sannyasa. So in that case, he used to wear vests, banyans, etc., and other very robes and very different kind of dresses, which was unprecedented. But should sannyasa be decided on the basis of someone's clothes or etc., then obviously no. But people, it all depends on what kind of people are trying to judge whether somebody is a sannyasi or not. People of ISKCON who do not agree with any kind of so-called Mayavadi, quote-unquote Mayavadi, we are though Brahmavadis, but that is the characterization they prefer. So they themselves agree that Vivekananda was a good sannyasi. Okay. So even though he wore different dresses, etc., he was apparently not following rules. See, sannyasa, it was a very bad thing for people to even sail across the seas, the 7 seas. Vivekananda went to other countries. It was a rule that you should not go mingle with Mlecchas. Mlecchas are people who are Aprachyas, non-Eastern, which means Western people, because their culture is different. So there are so many rules that are formed by the society according to its own customs and regulations. See, what is the idea behind wearing ochre clothes, which is saffron clothes, is that when sannyasi goes out for begging and he lives wandering here and there, then obviously his clothes are covered with dust. He does not have money enough to maintain good clothes, right? So if his clothes are covered with dust and mud, then obviously his clothes would get the color of mud and dust, which is orange. So that was the clothes that became a kind of a practice to wear orange, so that it is not considered dirty even if it is muddy, etc. That is all. There is no reference I think Bhutesh Anandaji was once asking all other scholars in his organization, show me a Shastra Praman wherein Shastra Praman is scriptural standard, wherein it is mentioned that a sannyasi has to wear orange clothes. No. Is it mentioned in Upanishads, or is it mentioned in Vedas, or etc.? Not there. So nowadays there is a lot of confusion regarding what a sannyasi should do, should not do, etc. And I think that confusion is genuine. And because we discuss a lot of things, we should also discuss these things. So basically, sannyasa, according to me, see, we all have a right to define what sannyasa is for ourselves. You can also define, but whether you are a sannyasi or not, first that will be, at least have you undergone Virija Homam and all of that. That will have to be considered. But because I have gone through Virija Homam and all of that, we will see. See, before going through Virija Homam, etc., I was asked, the time came when I was in a monastery. So the time came when my batch, like every year people join. So they are a lot that year. So from that year, the 10th year, they will calculate, and then they will be able to apply to the guru of the Sangha for sannyas. So after 10 years. So the time came, and then till then you remain as brahmacharis, like white dress, etc. All these conventions are there. Conventions are not laws, okay? Conventions are practices that are followed widely so that they can give you some wide benefits. That's all. They'll be conveniences for you. What happened is, at that time, the time came for me to apply for sannyas. Then I told my colleagues, my fellow brothers in that monastery, why should I apply, bro? I'm happy. Why should I apply for sannyas? I'm sannyasi. I mean, when I left home and hearth for the good of the world and in the name of Ramakrishna and Vivekananda, that moment, that is itself a sannyasa ceremony, and that is when from which I was sannyasa. So I have been sannyasi, and I don't feel any difference, any desire to, for any particular dress or color or for any recognition, etc. Moreover, it would be nuisance. If I go out in white dress, people don't really care much. But if I go out in orange color dress, people would want to offer pranam and do a lot of things, etc. I have to interact with so many people, too many people unnecessarily. That is unwanted attention. I don't want to, these are all of this seems childish to me. This is what I said to my brothers while walking at night. 3, 4 were there. All of them turned towards me. Do you want to make a scene? I said no. Then why just apply to sannyasa? That is how it is there. That is how all the conventions are going. If you don't want particularly, then why should you even have an objection to that? So have no objection. Don't avoid, don't seek, that kind of this one. Then okay, I said, fine. If you think that I will make a scene and you don't want any scene to be created, I don't want to establish myself as something special or anything like that. So, okay, let me then apply. So, in the letter also that I wrote to revered Atmasthanandaji Maharaj, who was my sannyasa guru. So, I mentioned this, Maharaj, a time has come where people are telling me that I should apply to you for sannyas. I do not know whether I am eligible or not. But still, because it is time and I don't want to look special or sound special or anything like that, if you think I am eligible, you might kindly grant me this sannyas. This is how I think broadly I wrote. If I find the letter, I will try to show it here. Then I was approved. I was called by headquarters, and then sannyasa was ceremony went on, etc. I was very happy with the ceremony. It is a very, very solemn ceremony. Everything is extremely well planned and all of that. And we were made to have bhiksha food. We were asked to actually go out from that organization, beg. And for 3 days, we literally went anywhere, any which way. We didn't go as a group. We went anywhere, asked anyone for food, and faced rejection and acceptance and ridicule and great reverence, and so many things happened. We would avoid people. There would be some people who knew that such monks as a batch would come out and they wanted to give. So we would avoid those routes. So I went very far also. So they asked us to come back at a particular time. We didn't have time or anything like that. But overall, we tried to come. And then that bhiksha was again offered to Sri Ramakrishna, and then it was then offered to President Maharaj. We took all that as prasad, etc. Now that food is considered the best and the holiest food. So I asked my senior and my acharyas that I want to continue this every day. Why only 3 days and why like this? We were not wearing any slippers, any footwear, or we were not wearing any stitched clothes. We were not wearing. We were doing a lot of things that are really, really right. Okay. I was very, very much at home with all of that, and I was very happy to be doing, fulfilling those niyamas according to scriptures, etc. Then you know what the acharya, one of the acharyas who is now in America, he told me is, look, I understand that you are very comfortable with all of these settings and you are excited to, if we allow you to continue, you would do it all your life, or even if not all your life, for a long time you will do it. But we will not do it. I mean, we will not allow you to do that. Because if you eat so much sattva food, I mean, okay, begging food is different, and we used to get havishana, we used to prepare. Just boiled vegetables, various vegetables, and boiled rice, and ghee. Havish means ghee. And that's it. Slight salt, and that's it. You eat. That's it. So simple and best food. I like it. That is the most favorite food of mine, even today. But if you eat such sattvic food every day, then you will remain sattvic and you will not be able to do any work that this organization wants. So we will not allow you to have that food. We need rajas. I mean, so that you can work. This is the answer I got. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say, the dandam that we got in the sannyasa ceremony, we had to leave it in Ganges that same day itself. Together we left all of that dandam in the Ganges because it is just inconvenient to carry it all the time, all life, and maintain it, right? So what I'm trying to say is, there are various gradations in this and various standards people have taken. But the ultimate thing is whether you are away from Maya and Moham. This is the standard you can take. And the other way I define is, according to my experience and what I have studied in the scriptures and what my gurus told me, etc., is that sannyasa is a stamp that God brands you with, but on your soul, on you actually, on the self. Now you wear a lot of bodies, and bodies change, the dresses change, dresses are even further inferior, names change, identities change, your arts and your vidyas, they may change, your bodies themselves may change, but the mark, the stamp that God has branded on you, that this person is mine, okay, this person, his journey is almost done, okay, is in the very, very last, on the tip of
the advancement of evolution possible. Now further, he is dedicated to my mission and my pleasure. This is what God is saying when he gives that sannyas. If he gives, okay. Now if you believe that, it is important to have that kind of conviction if you are that. So how to say whether you have conviction or not is, first of all, you need to be confident about that conviction. So if you have some conviction, I'm defining, you may say that you are just doing a drama, you have a lot of words and you are just using those words. Okay, fine, I may be fake, but I have the conviction, right? There are so many people who don't even have the conviction. Let people tell. Those people who want to be fake, let them be fake and let them have that conviction that I am this, I am pure through and through. I am pure in the past, present and future. I am pure within and without. I am pure in however form I am, in whichever body I am pure. There is nothing that can soil me. There is nothing that can make me impure. I am sinless. I am spotless. Let people say this. Let people say this again and again, 1,000 times. That itself becomes a spiritual practice and they will be purified. So even faking saintliness and holiness, like in one of the tales and parables of Sri Ramakrishna, how he explains, is very important, is very potent. If you want to fake being holy men, fake being great men, no problem. So in the process you will become great and good and holy. So what the other points I might have to tell you is, like in the Kumbh Mela recently, you might have seen many reels. Many people define as different things. For example, some people, the sadhus in Haridwar and Rishikesh used to consider the Vivekananda sadhus as Bhangi sadhus. Bhangi means sanitary worker, scavenger sadhus. Because they used to do, these sadhus used to do all sorts of work as a seva for all the people. Kankhal, we used to have a lot of, we have a big hospital wherein we used to do a lot of service to everyone. So these sadhus used to do it before they got a lot of employees. Sadhus themselves used to clean their, clean them after their bathroom, etc. So many things used to be done by sadhus themselves, sannyasis themselves. So they used to be called scavenger sadhus. And then when these sadhus, outside sadhus, they got some disease, etc., there was no other place but to go to this Kankhal hospital. And then when they saw the other sannyasis doing this kind of seva, service to them, then they realized, no, these are very valuable sadhus. That is what they used to say. So anyway, practical Vedanta. So in practicing Vedanta, you may have to go according to the times and the circumstances, etc. So for example, in my case, what happened is, after I resigned from this organization, then what happened is, donations are, how do I live? So when in the organization's donations, the donations that the organization gets, that is the plan for our sustenance personally, and also there are no salaries, etc., expenses paid, medical or some food, etc., all of that, and then for the mission that is going. But I have to, if I am independent, then I'm not a part of that organization, then I would have to raise some money for my food and for my sustenance and to keep up the dignity of this robe, orange robe, etc. It became a lot of difficulty. It became a big difficulty, and there were people who observed this, that I came out of that organization, and then they wanted to use me as their puppet to advance their motives. Many people were there. I didn't know that. Some I could understand earlier, but some I could not understand earlier. But once I got involved later, and then I had to come out. It was slightly awkward, not slightly, it was awkward. So, I didn't know much about the tricks of the world. So that happened. I used to be afraid and very, very reluctant to even advertise myself as this is what I am, etc. It was awkward for me, embarrassing for me. No. I'm not saying I'm ashamed of it or nothing like that. Embarrassing means, what I'm trying to say is, if I go with this particular robe, people would expect something from me, right? For example, they would come and show their hands and ask me to tell their future palm history. That's not our purpose, right? That is not us. But they think there are so many different wrong notions about sannyasis. So they expect me to cater to all of those wrong notions. For example, some people used to come and ask medical remedies for their knee pains, joint pains, for their so many things. And one lady came to me running and then showed a baby and then wanted me to bless the baby, that the baby would get eyesight. I think some problem was there, some big problem was there with I prayed, but there are so many expectations from people. Suppose I was eating in a hotel, I don't have any place to eat, and if I don't get any, I don't have a setup, then I will have to eat wherever I can, right? So if I eat in a hotel, then people would be like, he should be having a lot of nishtha, etc. Why is he eating in a hotel? So there would be, whatever I do, there would be a problem. If I ride a bike, they would have a problem with that. Like, why is a Swami riding a bike with a dhoti, etc., etc. It became an obstacle almost in any activity that I had to do. And I had to live on donations. It was very difficult. I mean, if you don't have an ATG certificate and if you cannot give any receipts, etc., if you do not have an organization, how would somebody trust and give money to you? Yeah, many did because they knew me personally. That is a different matter. My sustenance went on because of my students, etc., etc. But it became a big thing to maintain it, number one. So it is a nuisance, number one. Number two is, I see people disrespecting that in some ways. I don't want that to happen to people who wear orange, etc. So that also has to be avoided. I went to even Hindu big organizations, whoever we think are big Hindu organizations. I went to them. I to explain that on ideological basis I separated from this organization, a reputed organization. Can we do something together for us? They said nothing, we will not do anything for you. So okay, there was no support from those organizations. So I have seen so many things stage by stage, wherein there is no system in place where a sannyasi can remain a sannyasi with all his niyamas intact. So I tried a lot, but I had to be practical. I had to, it was difficult. So what happens is, slowly I started wearing it only on official functions or stages whenever I was in public, and in private I used to have my own kind of dresses, etc. For both comfort and simplicity's sake, and let people look at me just as a human being. If their work is with my knowledge, then I am ready to give the knowledge whenever, however people question me. So I don't want anything special to be done. No, I think you understood the point. And later on what happened is, I stopped programs and doing public programs because there was no depth to that, and there is no follow-up to that, and I am not able to scale it up to however much it is required. Of course, I am not even supposed to. I cannot be expected to do everything that is there in the country and in the world. I can only do so much as I'm just one person, right? But I did a lot, my best, and whatever circumstances allowed me, I did all of that. and I'm very happy and proud of that. But I know there is an end to it. I know this is not sustainable. So I started practicing Madhyas Darshan, which is a different subject matter anyway. So as part of that, that is a spiritual practice for me. Okay, just like Sri Ramakrishna, he realized God. He saw Mother Kali first thing. That is okay. Then he wanted to see whether the Vaishnava method of worship and spiritual practice is true or not. Then he followed all Vaishnava things. He wore all Vaishnava symbols and did everything a Vaishnava would do. And he found God, the same God, but in that way, that form. And then he wanted to practice Shakti, Divine Mother, in a feminine form. So he did all of that and he found God in the same way. Then he wanted to find God in the method of Christians. So he became quite a Christian. He wanted to do everything like that, like the Christians, including dressing, including talking, including reading Bible, everything, so many things. He was not able to read some, but he wanted to hear when people read, etc. So many things. Then he got the vision of Christ, etc. Then he went. Then he wanted to practice Nirakara Parabrahman according to the Advaita concept, and yes, he attained that. And then he wanted to follow Islam, and he got initiated by an Islam saint, and he practiced it all. He wore all the dresses, the kind of dresses that Islamists wear, and he used to call out for Allah, like Allah, all of that. He used to do namaz. He wanted to eat everything that they would eat, and he asked Mathurnath Babu, who was almost a king kind of thing at that time, to arrange for all of that. Something happened. I think whether it was half arranged, etc. Something like that. Sri Ramakrishna used to insist to do everything that practitioner of that spiritual path would do. He wanted to do all of that sincerely and then attain the realization, and to see whether it also led to the same God that he already got, or is there a different God. So ultimately, with all such practices, I think he practiced other religions like Sikhism, I don't remember, but many religions and sects, sectarianism, the other sects, etc. So what I'm trying to say is, in the same way, all of that is in my background, right? So I understood that Madhyas Darshan is the way for the future. Vedanta does not have a practical side. Even if it has a practical side, it does not have solutions for politics today. It does not have solution for wrong economics, wrong politics. It does not have solution for wrong psychology, wrong sociology, and so many things. Justice, what is the concept of justice according to Vedanta, and how that justice can be practiced, practical for all the world, etc. There are so many things that Vedanta is lacking. So this next step, forward step is Madhyas Darshan, Jivan Vidya, which is also called Sahasrituvad. When I understood it, initially I also underestimated it, just like others would. But I later on understood it's a very deep thing, and then I got into it, and then I can now say it is almost like next work for Vivekananda. It is born out of it. It is inspired by it. It just does not acknowledge that it is Vivekananda's work. That's all. And Avatara Purushas don't come for their name and fame, so it does not matter to them whether whose name is on the great work, but the great work itself is important. So I wanted to practice it sincerely, and that is when I decided that I would practice, and part of that is marriage and family life, and be the ideal family life, and then community, and then reach up to 1,000 crores people. There is a graded model. All of that model can be studied very easily if you study Madhyastha Darshan books. I studied as much as the language barrier allowed me, and then I wanted to practice it, and I told I told everybody who was being considered for marriage, etc., that this is exactly what I want to do. It is a spiritual practice. It is like a project only. And when the other person agreed, whoever agreed, within a few days, within 10 days itself, because my thing is that I see all divine people only, divinity everywhere. So whoever is there, who in certain parameters, like who has to be some spiritually minded, and they need to see this practice seriously, and they need to be ready to practice Madhyas Darshan in life, etc. So that is the only qualification I looked at. And then the later stage, everything that has happened. So that project is coming to an end. As a stated thing, it has come to an end almost. So now I am trying to give out to tell the world what I have found out in this, and how we can all, as 1,000 crore people, now it is 800 crore people almost in this world. Now slowly, by the time this whole plan is implemented, it would be 1,000 crore people. So 1,000 crore people, how can we all live in harmony in all dimensions, as individuals, as part of families, as part of communities, as part of society, and as a whole humanity, with respect to the rest of the nature? How can we all be living in harmony, which is just like Vedanta has come into practice in this whole world, where people are sincerely trying to be harmonious and express their divinity. How to do it? We need a model, right? Just like an average Indian here, who spits everywhere, or who is not really that caring, who is not really punctual, or we have some bad habits, right? But when we go to some places where all those good habits, ideal habits that are already practiced, we just join there. 1,000 people are already practicing punctuality and being prompt and being hygienic and being considerate to the others, etc. When we go there, we become people, the bad people we just leave our personality just like that, and then we also become that, right? When we go to foreign countries, we don't litter everywhere, we don't smoke in public, we don't do so many things, right? How is that possible? Because there is a model there that is very, very powerful. If already there is a model, you have to join that, and you think all the model is perfect. You have a great enthusiasm because it is a new change. You will want to comply. But here you are not that good to change your personality, because this behind it, psychologically you were disappointed in a lot of things, and because of that disappointment, because of that hopelessness, you don't want to change here, because even if you change, you think there is no use. But here you have a lot of hope that if you change, it is actually worth it. So similarly, if we can build a model like a village or 10 villages wherein all these Madhyas Darshan concepts are practiced with 1,000 to 10,000 people, if people from outside come and look at it and ask questions, if there are any, and see people happy and harmonious and ideal, just like gods on earth, then they would like to practice. Then they would like to duplicate such models and implement other models like that. Implement these model in other places, everywhere. So then there will be spreading of harmony everywhere, at all levels. This is the plan. Yes, I know it is far-fetched. Any plan to revive and reform the world is definitely far-fetched. It is a big plan. It is not in one person's hand. It is not possible even to see it in a solid form in one lifetime. Yes, but somebody has to start. Somebody has to believe in it. Somebody has to be sincere to their backbone to implement this. So whether it is Vedanta, whether it is Madhyas Darshan or not, we all need to believe that good will come if we try hard. Otherwise, there is no point in being good at all. Right now, you can turn into evil person. Therefore, I am saying that sannyasi will set a mission for himself, and in the process of fulfilling that mission, he may have to change in many ways. But if that sannyasi is a sincere sannyasi, he will remain a sannyasi, and it is between God and him or her whether that person is true to the cause or not, cause of God or not. And if society, if they have some obstinacy that they will consider only such people as recognized as sannyasis and such other people, like for example IIT Baba is there. Having been into IIT alumnus, that itself is a big thing for them to consider him as a sannyasi. Is it not funny? There are so many people, there are thousands of people who are in IITs or MITs, etc., who are now monks or something like that. But that doesn't really, that doesn't add value to being a monk. But since the society wants it like that, thinks that is how we should measure people, let them measure. Okay. See, this is what I say, that if you see Akhanda Brahmacharya and then you will really be inspired and you will change the whole world because of that, if that is so powerful to you, if that really appeals to you, then you would have listened to Vivekananda. You would have been a die-hard fan and follower of Vivekananda, disciple of Vivekananda, who is actually insisting with all the money, time, energy, attention that person has. There would be thousands of people right now who would be replicates, at least junior Vivekanandas. But we are not like that. So you cannot say that just that the other person will show me Akhanda Brahmacharya or great intelligence, etc., and I will be inspired and do everything. No, because Vivekananda did it. What did you do? Now, if somebody is an ambassador of India, cultural and spiritual ambassador of India, show me such a nice, clean, great, sharp person. Ranganathananda was there. What are you doing when Ranganathananda, you just made him a president and you think that that is it. And then that's it. What Ranganathananda, that doesn't care whether you make him a president of an organization or not. He wants the crux of what the message is there, the mission of Ramakrishna, that needs to be implemented, right? You don't care what he wants. You don't care what Vivekananda wants. You don't care what Buddha wants. You don't care what Jesus wants. You only do what you want, and you think the homage that you pay to all these people is that you build statues for them. You name your schools and colleges and some public institutions in their names. You may declare public holidays in these people's names, and you think you have done everything for them. No, sorry. This is just hypocrisy and worldliness. This is just Maya working inside you. So if you see tremendous tranquility, and by that you would be inspired. You would have been inspired by Buddha. You would become junior Buddha. Are you? No. So don't deceive yourself by saying that if you do this, I will do this. You will never keep the end of keep your end of the bargain. Okay. I realized it after suffering a lot, right? People told me that, Swamiji, whatever you are saying is right, but you are a Swami, you are a sannyasi, you don't have BV bache, you don't have wife and children, or you don't have loans on you, you don't have to go to jobs and slave yourself off, you don't have so many problems, you don't need to take a medical insurance, you don't need to do so many things that we need to do, and therefore it is very easy for you to tell, to preach. We respect you for that, and we admire you, and we wish we are in your position. but we cannot be in your position. You will remain in your position, we will remain in our position. So we will respect you, we will fall at your feet, we will provide any assistance that you want, we will create platforms where you can give your message, but we will never follow you. This is what people told me. Dozens of people told me. So what I wanted is, I wanted to create the circumstances wherein I am equal to you, to all these people, wherein I have all these problems. But I wanted to show them the way to come out of these problems, or to do what is needed to be done, to be ideal, with having all this setup, the other setup, the inconvenient setup. Now they say that you're just like us, so why would we listen to you? So this is the amount of cheating that happens by Maya, through Maya, in Maya, inside of us. So for me to realize this, I had to do a lot. I had to lose a lot of years, I had to lose a lot of status, and so many things. I don't regret it. It's a great lesson. This helps me to actually put myself in your position and see how you are bound to Maya, bound by Maya, bound to this world. What are the exact patterns with which you are being deceived by Maya? I'm able to see. This is very, very valuable, highly valuable lessons I have learned in all this journey. So now I'm in the process of distributing what I have learned. That is the significance and importance of this channel that I am maintaining, and I'm doing so. I don't mince words. Yes, there are some threats. If I speak truth, I will be inconvenienced a lot. I will have to go through many more problems just because of ignorance, and just because of misunderstanding, and just because people are not patient enough to understand what is truth and believe enough that whatever I said is true. One nun who was in an organization named after Sri Sarada Devi, and who also resigned and is living as an independent person in Himalayas. I thought, let me interact with her a little, because I never did with such people. So when I told her what I'm doing, why I'm doing, she was like, do you believe yourself really? Do you really believe what you're saying? She was asking me, look, if I don't believe what I'm saying, why would I do it? She doesn't believe that I believe, and she doesn't believe what I'm saying. Okay, but the way she is asking is whether I believe. She's thinking that even I don't believe what I'm saying. So Vivekananda said about these people that people of little faith, mustached children with big mustaches. Okay, so he wanted youngsters who are pure, unselfish, believing, sincere to the backbone. He wanted 100 of them. Let us see whether we have 100 at least or not. So yes, I am a believing young man. Not so young now, but yeah, I am one of them. I believe. I believe innocently, and that is a very great prerequisite for spiritual journey. Belief, Shraddha, very, very important. Yes, we get cheated, but I prefer getting cheated than to lose the ability to believe. Purity for me is Trikarna Shuddhi, thinking, saying, doing the same thing. No difference in these three dimensions. Unselfishness is looking at yourself only as part of the whole existence. So if there are 800 crores of people, you are one of them, the attention or you should be thinking of yourself only in that ratio. That doesn't mean you should not think about yourself. Try. I mean, you have to maintain your body, all of these practical things are there, you do it. But the mind space that you have, it should be divided only in that ratio. Purity, unselfishness, believing. There is something called dark night of the soul in spiritual journey. In Christian theology, you will find it. So sometimes you are in a phase where you think all God, divine beings, mysticism, or any spiritual progress, and so many things, everything is delusion and you have been cheated. There's nothing like that. This is how you feel. So even then, if you are able to believe, keep up the trust and conviction. That is very important. So pure, unselfish, believing, sincere to the backbone. I remember telling a very senior Swami, Atmavidananda, because he was asking me at that time, oh, you are doing so much, how are you able to manage doing so much? I said, it was in the Rath Yatra project, Vivekananda Rath Yatra project, centenary or 150 years of Vivekananda. It's in a project. I said, today I am ready to put my head under a truck's tire if that helps Vivekananda's work, truly. If I believe that that will take forward Vivekananda's work, I am ready to throw myself under the bus without hesitation, without blinking. And I still do. Therefore, this is the kind of dedication we need to have to progress in spiritual life. And Sri Ramakrishna, okay, because it is a topic started with Sanyasa, etc. Sri Ramakrishna said, if taking God's name, you can, if you are on a palm tree that high somewhere, taking God's name, you can just plunge yourself onto the ground. If you are asked to do that, you can do that. If you have that kind of surrender to God, then you are a sannyasi. That is what he said. We are all doing that. We are all able to do that. Okay. Even today, I don't know what I want personally. I don't have any agenda of mine. Then what does it mean? I have only Vivekananda's agenda as my agenda. Vivekananda's practical Vedanta is the program that I have in my life, and I am trying to convince people of how to practically, pragmatically, we can all practice Vedanta and all be materially also happy, mentally, intellectually and spiritually happy, harmonious on this planet at least. This much I am thinking. I cannot think about the other planets. I am not in that level at all. Okay, so there are several definitions, that is what I am trying to say, of being a monk. So if you have a definition of being a monk and then you calculate, you measure me or somebody in that measurement and with that yardstick, and then you don't want to respect us, absolutely no problem, go ahead. But you cannot have a right to decide whether we should consider ourselves as sannyasis or not. You don't. As long as I am not asking money from you. Okay. If I am asking money from you, you can ask me my credentials. I will tell you. You may disagree. I may disagree with you. No problem. If that money is for some purpose, if I am using that for that purpose, if I can give you that account, so it should be fine. And even if you don't like, therefore you don't give me, that is also fine. No problem. I am not asking money from you. What I am asking ever to the from this world is attention, wherein I am saying this is possible for the good of 1,000 crores of people on this planet, for the permanent good of for their permanent good, not just 1 day good, 2 days good, 3 days good, for everybody, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, language, country, etc., gender, age, everybody is good. I'm just asking for attention, your attention to this philosophy. that is very strong logically, and it is practicable, and we will all together will find whether it is philosophically, truthfully right or not or wrong. It is not anti-existence, it is pro-existence. It is not anti-human, it is pro-human. It is not anti-practicality, it is pro-practicality. It is not anti-logic, it is pro-logic. It is not anti-science, it is pro-science. It is naturally acceptable, it is rational. It is this subject that I am talking about, which is implementable subject. So kindly pay that attention if you can. I will be highly pleased, and you will be highly pleased. Everybody will be pleased optimally. Thank you.